Blessings and namaste, everyone. I'm spiritualist, psychic, astrologer, and medium Ray Seti. Once again, thank you for allowing me this opportunity to come into your homes and share with you my spiritual and astrological insights for the month of October 2018. I'd like to first begin by highlighting that as we move into October, on October 5th, we have the planet of beauty, Venus, moving retrograde. Venus will remain retrograde until November 16th. Keep in mind, Venus will move retrograde about every 18 or 19 months. This Venus retrograde, Venus begins its retrograde in the sign of Scorpio. It will move back into Libra and then back into Scorpio. Whenever Venus is retrograde, it's a favorable opportunity for us to review and evaluate our close personal relationships. And since Venus is the planet of love, certainly that addresses love relationships. However, we do not discount all relationships, including our social relationships, our friendships, and otherwise, as well as all things of beauty in our lives. So let's use this time to really reflect on our close personal relationships. Perhaps reconnect with a loved one that you may have become distant from. If you find that perhaps your love relationships have become somewhat stagnant and they need to be regenerated, it's a perfect time to do that as well. Also, Venus rules financial matters, so it's a most favorable time to review our financial matters as well, including our beliefs towards finances and money matters. If there are any remaining beliefs of lack or limitations, it's a perfect time to address those as well, reflect on those experiences, and release any condition of lack which you may continue to experience in your life. Also, if there is any imbalance in any area of your life, because also remember, Venus rules the sign Libra. Libra is the sign of balance. Allow yourself to be shown if there are any imbalances in your life. Welcome that observation and allow yourself the courage to correct any imbalance which you may be given the opportunity to recognize in your life, certainly coming from the spirit realm. Also, reflect on your creative potential. Many times when I address creative matters, especially with one-on-one personal clients, there's a misconception that creativity is limited to art and music. However, creativity at its core essence is unlimited. We are creative beings, and a large part of this human experience is recognizing our creative potential and demonstrating that creative ability as well in whatever way resonates with you. Remember, it is not limited to only art and music. Creativity is infinite. It's multifaceted. So allow yourself to recognize whatever creative potential is very unique to your being during this Venus retrograde phase. And also, since Venus begins its retrograde in the sign of Scorpio, which Scorpio is connected to all sexual matters, so it's a favorable time to address that with your love partner as well. You know, in chapter 8 of my book, The Planets Align So Rare, I do address these matters, and certainly these experiences, these very deep, intimate experiences, are very much part of our human encounter. And also, when we connect with another individual at that very, very deep, intimate level, we establish some very strong etheric connections with the other individual. And I address that and inspire you to recognize that if there are any experiences from the past that you find yourself perhaps continually reflecting on or thinking about, maybe sometimes overthinking these experiences. Perhaps it's an indication that you need to detach and cleanse and clear some hooks, plugs, etheric connections that may remain intact with someone from your past. When two individuals, especially on a love relationship level, when the relationship has exhausted and it has been completed, unless we properly correct and clear the etheric connections that we have with this other person, those connections potentially remain intact for about 7 years. Many times that is why someone cannot move past an experience, a love relationship, once it has ended. So if you are having these experiences, if you find it challenging to move past a love relationship that has completed itself and find some difficulty in doing so, perhaps this Venus retrograde is time to clear that connection finally and fully, so that you may be given another opportunity to welcome and embrace the experience of a love relationship in your life. As I said, that Venus retrograde begins on October 5th. And it will remain so until November 16th. Also, incidentally, on October 5th, we have the balsamic moon phase. As I've highlighted in many past videos, that the balsamic moons begins a period of cleansing, clearing, and purging to prepare us for the next new moon lunar cycle, which will begin on October 8th. Our next new moon is on October 8th, and it is exact at 11:47 p.m., and that is Eastern Daylight Time. Now, our new moon is in the sign of Libra, the sign connecting and representing relationships, certainly love relationships, but also to our business partnership. Any partnership is represented by the sign Libra. So that balsamic moon phase, also connecting with that Venus retrograde, offers us a time to reflect, review, and cleanse, clear, and purge anything from the past regarding relationships that may no longer serve a purpose for us as well. Also, Libra is the sign that most represents and is connected with nature and the natural world. A long time ago, I was taught that the Earth, we believe as astrologers, we believe that the Earth has a Libra rising. Libra representing the element of nature. When we look out onto the Earth, we see nothing but nature and beauty and balance. Nature has an instinct knowing within itself how to create balances whenever there is an imbalance. We as human beings possess the same exact quality to create balance within ourselves and in our lives whenever there's imbalance. The human body will also innately create a balance when it is allowed to do so. Perhaps allow yourself to reflect during the balsamic moon if there are any experiences where you are not recognizing or allowing yourself to create these innate natural balances within and for yourselves on a personal level. Also, as I said, Libra is the sign of nature. If you have found yourself being disconnected from nature and the natural world, reflect on that experience as well. And at the new moon, allow yourself to welcome and incorporate that element of nature within your own lives personally, especially in your homes. It's always a wonderful thing when we surround our homes with beautiful things of nature, plants, gems, crystals that allow us to, or rather that remind us on a daily basis of our connection with nature and the natural world. Also, allowing ourselves to dwell and to be in nature is a very healing, regenerating experience. Being in nature and the natural world, especially when we allow ourselves to be distant from the intensity and the chaos of our surroundings, is highly cleansing. It also allows us to really recognize that in those experiences we become very grounded and anchored to the energy of the earth and nature. So at this new moon, allow yourself to incorporate and welcome these understandings into your daily experiences. Perhaps on the new moon, allow yourself to really dwell and be in nature, and also offer yourself the opportunity to create a very natural, nature-oriented environment in your home, so that once again your home becomes very much a sanctuary surrounded by these amazing, wonderful elements that allow ourselves to heal and regenerate in very natural ways. There is a transformative alignment taking place on the new moon from the planet Neptune. This is also a profound indication how when we allow ourselves to be in nature, we profoundly connect with spirit. And that experience is highly, highly transformative from the spiritual core creative level of our being. This alignment from Neptune to the new moon at this time also suggests that overall in the outside world, as we go through this coming month, we'll observe spiritual transformations really being presented to us in the outer world. For example, beliefs that we may have been given from the powers that be, if you will, regarding matters of spirituality, more so matters of human created religion, we will begin to discover where there are many imbalances and how many of those belief systems and practices may be inaccurate and incorrect. This is not to discredit anyone's beliefs. However, these experiences are very much part of these times of revelations that we are in right now, and we are being revealed truth where that there has been untruth for thousands and thousands of years. Allow yourself from a place of love to be shown these higher truths. And for many of us, these revelations will come when dwelling in nature and the natural world, when we have allowed ourselves to really quiet the cacophony that exists in the ether, especially during these times of the revelations and the apocalypse. And so that we might be shown from a place of love all that is unfolding without fear. Allow yourself to connect with spirit, God, love, light, whatever that might be for you, while existing in nature and the natural world. And also remember that nature gives us the opportunity to heal. Many healing elements are in nature. For example, essential oils, herbs, teas are very powerful healing modalities. Allow yourself to be open and receptive to the possibility of these higher insights for yourself. Once again, all these suggestions, and whenever we share this information, they're only suggestions which come through me from Spirit to offer you the opportunity to empower yourself, because it's really all about you and empowering you and knowing the light and the power that is very much present within your being. On October 23rd, the sun transits into the sign of Scorpio. Scorpio is the sign which most connects with certainly death and regeneration. It's a time for us to really reconnect with our loved ones and those who have transitioned into the spirit realm. Certainly on October 31st with Halloween, and November 1st with All Souls Day, the Day of the Dead, we are given the opportunities to honor our loved ones who have transitioned into the spirit realm. And as the sun transits Scorpio, it's very much a favorable opportunity for us to honor those of us who have transitioned into the spirit realm. Also, it's a wonderful time for us to recognize and acknowledge our own connections with spirit and our loved ones. The psychic faculties are very much heightened during the time of the Scorpio transit. Many times we hear that the veil between the worlds is very thin during the time of Scorpio, and that very much can be the case, although for some of us that veil is thin all the time, and in general during the time of the sun's transit through Scorpio, the veil is lifted, is very thin between the physical and the spiritual realm. Also, too, we have to be aware that when there is that opportunity to connect with spirit, we need to always incorporate, and it's always suggested, strongly suggested for that matter, always ask for spirit's protection, and that when connecting with spirit and our loved ones, we are only surrounded with love, light, and protection, and that we know we do not allow any negative influences to come through. I am always inspiring us to connect and recognize our connections with spirit. Whenever I begin one of my group events, I always share with you my knowing that what I demonstrate is not necessarily a gift. I don't believe that I have a gift, quote unquote. I believe that I demonstrate an ability that every one of us has the potential to connect with for our own knowing, guidance, clarity, and direction with the spirit realm. Just like we have 10 fingers and 10 toes, we can all swim, but we're not Olympic swimmers like Michael Phelps. We have that potential to swim, just like we have the potential to connect with the spirit realm. So perhaps allow yourself the opportunity to recognize that connection, especially while the sun transits in Scorpio. Scorpio also deals with debilitating fear when we allow ourselves to be consumed by that. So perhaps during this transit of Scorpio, allow yourself to recognize where fear may still be present in your life, where it interferes with allowing yourself to really demonstrate some of your greatest potentials, but also receiving the blessings that Spirit is very willing to offer to us as well. Scorpio connects with transformation, also empowerment of the self. On a low vibrational frequency, that Scorpio element will attempt at inflicting its power and control over others. We are in times of knowing our power, not to control others. This is an opportunity for us to really recognize we are masters of our destiny. Every one of us is the master of our destiny. Nothing in the outside world has any power or control over us if we don't allow that element to have power and control over us. It does not mean that we inflict power and control over others or exist in a place of entitlement. We allow ourselves to really dwell and be in that place of love and humility. And then we fully and truly become the masters of our destiny. So perhaps as the sun transits Scorpio, recognize the power that is inside you, which allows you and offers you the opportunity to become the master of your destiny. Now, our next full moon is on October 24th, and it is exact at 12:46 p.m. Now, what is significant with this full moon is that on the day before the full moon, on October 23rd, the planet Uranus, the Great Awakener, forms an opposition, which is a full moon alignment to the sun. And that alignment is further emphasized on the full moon because Uranus is conjunct the moon. That conjunction aspect that I refer to is a new moon alignment. Both heavenly bodies are in the exact same space at a specific time, just as a new moon. On a new moon, the sun and the moon are at the exact same location. On this full moon, Uranus and the moon are at the exact same location, and opposing the sun as well as Venus. Now, Uranus is the planet of great, powerful, and profound change. And as I've illustrated in many writings and in many forecasts, that chaos may always and will always precede great change. As we go through these next few months, if we observe that heightened presence of chaos in the outer world, remember it's all an illusion. Many times when someone, as I've said in the past, when someone is in a very deep sleep, sometimes we need to shake them up a little bit to wake them up. That's what Uranus will always be for us. And as we go through these next few months, humanity overall may need to be shaken a little bit to awaken. This full moon also triggers the energies of the July lunar eclipse. So be aware of what was being triggered at that time, what was being activated, what you were experiencing at that time. This time now, this full moon at the end of October on the 24th, is an opportunity to move forward with all those experiences and also have the courage to move through all those experiences as well. Uranus is in the earth sign of Taurus. We've observed since Uranus moved into Taurus a little bit earlier this year in the spring, we've observed many earth shifts taking place. There has been an increase of volcanoes, earthquakes, seismic activity. All of that may very well be concentrated at the time of the full moon. This is never, whenever we share these insights, certainly it is not to create fear. I always inspire us to recognize when we calm the storms within ourselves, we calm the storms in the outer world. We are very much connected with nature and the natural world. Certainly it is necessary for the earth to shift and to release stress. However, these experiences, these stress releases, do not need to be devastating experiences. So when we allow ourselves to be peaceful and send love and light to the earth, nature will do exactly what it needs to do, and the potential of the devastation will be lessened. Know that. Remember that. Remember, we are all connected to one another as well as the earth. People and planet are one. When we calm the storms within ourselves, when we allow ourselves to remain very, very peaceful, we will notice that the earth is also peaceful as well. And it will shift and it will release any stress which may be necessary. However, it will not be conducted in ways that create great devastation. Also, as I said, Uranus, the planet of awakening, as it's connecting with the full moon in the full moon chart, we the people, which is represented by the moon, are in for a great awakening. These revelations that I'm talking about will also very much be concentrated. Do not approach any of this from a place of fear. This is all about empowering ourselves, knowing the light that is within us, knowing that God element, whatever that is for us personally, is very much present in every one of us. And when we observe all things in the outer world from a place of love, then we certainly generate love to all of humanity, as well as allowing ourselves very much to receive that blessing of love. Once again, I thank you for allowing me this opportunity to share with you some of the insights regarding some of the astrological alignments taking place during the month of October. Remember, in any month and even in any given day, sometimes there are hundreds if not thousands of alignments which really come together. I'm sharing with you, I'm highlighting some of the most significant ones. Also remember that all these alignments, how they will really apply to us personally, will be demonstrated by their placements in our personal unique astrological charts. That being said, I will be returning to the mystical moon in November, and I believe my first day of sessions will be November 12th. I will I will be offering sessions through the end of November. My schedule is filling up very, very quickly. Lori does ask that we make the appointment sooner rather than later. So again, I thank you for allowing me this time to share with you these insights. I very, very much look forward to seeing everyone again in November. In October, I will be traveling to Minnesota. So my clients in Minnesota, I look forward to seeing you as well. Stay in the light, always in a place of love. Namaste and many blessings to everyone. Stay in the light.